Things, just a couple, 3 or 4 items. It's going to be a fairly short video, and I'll get started on it as soon as I come back.
Hey! Roger! Oh, Rocket Chick Roger! Hello there!
So, one of our viewers here, J. Lynn Burton, sent me an email. It said, another topic I've not seen you do a video on is age gap relationships in Ecuador. In other expat heavy countries like the Philippines, those type relationships are very common with an older foreigner expat and a 10 to 30 year younger Filipino. Could you do a video on how common this is there, please, and the views on it? That's very common here. I mean, you do see that a lot. I've gotten to know quite a few expats after my arrival here that have a full-time relationship with a local Ecuadorian lady that's several years younger, 10, 15, 20 years, maybe even longer. They have great relationships. You know that I kind of joked when I first came here, I didn't really know any better about how sensitive people can be around here about things you say, but when I first came here, somebody at one of the local gatherings here asked me if I had any interest in, did I come here to meet up with some young Ecuadorian chick and have her move in with me and all that kind of stuff. And my response was that I did all my babysitting when I was in high school, and I didn't want to do any of that now. And I had the completely wrong view about how that is looked upon here in Ecuador. The Ecuadorian, there are a lot of very poor people here, and including young girls and young guys, and they're looking for a better way of life, and they find it with the expats that come here. And it's not like the expats are coming here and perving out on the young girls. Maybe there were some, but I don't think, I think, it's been explained to me that the Ecuadorian women here are just looking for security and a safe place to live and a safe relationship, with somebody. There's a lot that I could say about this, but I'm not going to. I personally, I don't have any interest in having that type of a relationship, because I'm always going to be worried about whether it's true love or not, And for a lot of expats, I've discovered that a lot of expats don't really care whether it's true love or not. It's a give and take situation, and it works out best for the both of them. So yeah, it's very common here, and you see it a lot. The second thing I want to talk about, my friend Captain Morgan wrote and said, for many, the curve of cultural adaptation is a real thing. So think about that for a second. The curve, how we have learning curves. The curve of cultural adaptation is a real thing. It can manifest as a sine wave with a high and a low. Initially, there's the honeymoon period, followed by a crisis, then a recovery, and lastly, an adjustment. So in the beginning, the newcomer embraces their destination wholeheartedly. They feel both excited and motivated. Shortly thereafter, that motivation may wane with feelings of lost momentum. In the end, if you stick with it, you'll adapt to the environment and integrate the culture. I'm talking about, what he's talking about here is adapting to living here, coming here and adapting to the culture and adapting to a new way of life as an expat. And I never thought about it until I saw this from Captain Morgan, that, yeah, he's right. When I first came here, I was shocked by culture shock beyond belief. A lot of that just had to do with where I was staying. A lot of it. It was a couple of bad Airbnb experiences that almost ruined it for me. Once I got settled into an apartment, which is here where I'm at now, the honeymoon started, and I started really enjoying my new life in a new country and a new retirement experience. Then a crisis happened, and that was like when I got awakened in the middle of the night by music that was louder than I've ever heard in my life. Except maybe when I was at a concert in my younger days in high school and somewhere around in that time frame. That was the crisis. I finally was awakened to the fact that noise is a real thing here, and I've had to learn, and I'm still learning how to adapt to it. And it's working. It's working somewhat. There are ways to deal with this. There are some areas that you can move into here, and I don't think you can escape the noise, but people live there and they live with it. There are some areas here that you never hear anything, but I can't afford those places. So anyway, the curve of cultural adaptation. So it's the honeymoon followed by the crisis, and then a recovery, and lastly an adjustment. It's almost like the 5 stages of grief. It's kind of like that, you know. And of course the adjustment, you know, the final step is just learning to adjust and learning to live with it. And it turns out that it's really not that bad. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about today is USA Valet. You saw their little plug that I did at the start of this video. I had an experience with them. I ordered some stuff and had it shipped. It was some gear, pretty pricey, and it was taking really what seemed like a long time to get here, and it did. And I got all excited and thinking, oh my God, am I doing the wrong thing here by using this freight forwarding company, USA Valet, and you know, did they lose my stuff or what happened? I was panicking. Come to find out, the truth of the matter is that USA Valet did exactly everything they could do. They work with as efficient a process as possible. They have absolutely no interest in losing your goods, and they didn't lose mine. My stuff got tied up in customs. So the reality of using any shipping company to get stuff shipped here is that it's going to go through customs before it comes to you. And if it's electronic and there's a value tied to that item, and if their system's not working good, it's going to get tied up, okay? It just happens, folks. My experience with USA Valet has been 100% satisfactory. It's any discomfort I had with them was my own fault because I didn't know what was going on. But I talked to the owner and she explains it to me, and it's worked out real good. So I just wanted to let you know that when you ship, whether you ship through USA Valet, which I hope you do, or anybody else, your shipment can be tied up in customs and there's not much you can do about it. You just have to wait, okay? And don't blame it on the shipper, please. I blamed it on the shipper and now I feel bad, so. But I think Judy understands, and I think she knows me enough now to know that I'm kind of an excitable kind of guy, and I didn't give him a chance. The last thing I want to talk to you about is being careful about what you say in Ecuador. When you come here, if you badmouth a company or a restaurant or a bar, you could be sued. And people win these lawsuits. They call them defamation and, you know, character assassination and all this stuff. This stuff can happen. People talk. I got to tell you folks, as expats, when you come here, if you don't like the way, you know, food tasted at a particular restaurant, don't go on social media and boast about it. Keep it to yourself. If you want to talk to other people about it, keep it private conversation, because you can be sued. I've had a couple of people threaten to sue me, and they may still. And if they do, I just have to deal with it. I'm too old to go to jail, so I'm not going to worry about that. But I don't want, you know, I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. You can't just come here and just start blabbing off your mouth about how bad some restaurant is, or you know, how bad the band is in any particular venue, and you just don't do that. Just don't do it, okay? These people are proud people, and they're doing the best they can to be our host. And we need to appreciate that, and we need to know it, okay? So that's all I got. It's kind of a short video. I apologize for taking so long between videos, but I'm trying to come up with some better content, and I've got some interviews that I'm going to be doing here real soon of some pretty interesting people, and that have been here for a while, and we're going to have some good conversation. So thanks for subscribing to my channel. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. It helps a lot. We're almost up to 4,000 subscribers now, folks. We're getting to be a pretty good sized family as far as I'm concerned, and you are my family, okay? So if you have any comments or questions or anything, leave them in the comment section or send me an email. My email is in the description, and I respond to everybody, okay? From Monte, Ecuador, on kind of a gloomy day. It's not real pretty today, but I'm alive. I'm upright and breathing on my own. See you in the next one. Ciao.
What is